The quest for attention or fame on the internet drives people to do some pretty insane things. Some people will go as far as blatantly filming themselves committing crimes for a few likes and followers. This is where we meet a particularly stupid man named Wolfie Kahletti.
Am I recording what? Who's gonna get a cake?
Tacos at the egg roll.
This is a man whose entire internet presence revolves around being a public nuisance and harassing strangers. Unfortunately, this type of content creator isn't even a new thing. We've seen these kind of people pop up plenty of times before. The original person to really gain online infamy doing this kind of stuff was Boonk Gang.
Boonk Gang, a whole lot of motherfucking gang shit, you know what I'm saying? I hit a million followers. They ain't doing it like me. Woo! Woo! Woo!
There was also that British guy named Mizzy that got popular for walking into random people's homes and going to gas stations and destroying things.
James? Come to the front door right now, please.
James?
James.
You man, come.
Hello, James.
We need to speak to James.
James.
And there's plenty of streamers like Johnny Somali that do this exact kind of stuff just while being live. Now, we have the newest scumbag to add to the roster of terrible creators willing to do anything for views, Wolfie Kahletti. His real name is Charles Smith, and he's a 27-year-old man that posted videos on Instagram and TikTok harassing people in public.
No. You guys are locked in there. Forever.
This kind of content has allowed him to rack up almost 400,000 followers on Instagram, and on TikTok he was able to garner over 320,000 followers before his account was banned. Sadly, it seems like there's an ever-growing audience for this kind of content, and this is proven by the sheer amount of numbers some of Wolfie's videos would do. I'm honestly willing to bet most of this following is just comprised of literal children and edgy teenagers and not actual functioning adults. Let's be honest, anyone with a developed brain sees this kind of content and thinks it sucks. The first post on Wolfie's Instagram has garnered over 27 million views at this point. This video shows Wolfie walking into a fast food restaurant and throwing some person's food on the ground.
I'm so sorry for scaring you.
Let them have cake. Oh, who knows?
Of course, at the end of that video, when he's going to be confronted, he runs away like a coward as well. This is something Wolfie will do every single time he finds himself in trouble after one of his stunts. Like in another video that currently has 26.9 million views where Wolfie throws a cake off a balcony at strangers in the mall. I really don't understand how these videos get so popular. Wolfie, of course, does worse things than throwing cakes at people. He also likes to spray random strangers with fire extinguishers. Where he gets these extinguishers, I have no clue, but multiple people just trying to go about their day have been hosed down by Wolfie.
Oh my god. Hello. How are you? The word safe doesn't exist when Wolfie's around. Oh, you're gonna want to move out the way, Grandpa. Oh. Well, Here we are.
Quit recording people. What is he doing?
Am I recording what?
I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with fire extinguishers before, but the powder or foam that comes out of them can be sticky or leave behind a horrible residue that stains. Not to mention, even though most extinguishers are considered non-toxic, inhaling the powder can cause irritation to your respiratory system, causing coughing and breathing difficulties. This is a pretty shitty thing to do to people just waiting at a bus stop or trying to go for a run. Of course, using people as props for his content doesn't stop here. Wolfie has also gone to the laundromat and threw a pack of bacon and a carton of eggs into some poor guy's dryer. Now, I imagine going to the laundromat and having to wait a couple of hours for your clothes to wash and dry is already a pretty dreadful task. That old guy is now going to have to restart his entire wash cycle, and his clothes are potentially ruined all because of Wolfie's stupid video. Not even his followers thought this was funny, with some of the top comments on this video reading, "This one is not funny bro, you're losing it." That's honestly fucked up. Most people at the laundromat already broke, they don't need this. But Wolfie really doesn't care about any of this. In his eyes, people are just props to help him boost his numbers on social media. And I really think this idea is highlighted by the way Wolfie treats fast food employees. Wolfie has a hyperfixation with putting random foods and items inside fast food restaurant fryers. Here's just a quick compilation.
Oh no, go ahead. Hey, I'll make sure that I got the top.
While this seems less harmful than the other pranks, some person making minimum wage is going to have to empty out the grease and clean the fryer because of his stunts. And in one instance, Wolfie dumped an entire bag of ice into the fryer.
Los tacos at the egg roll.
Hey!
If you don't know what happens when you put ice in a deep fryer, it looks something like this. Doing this could potentially be very dangerous, as it can easily cause a fire inside the restaurant. At the very least, it's going to cause that fryer to bubble over and cause a huge mess that another old dude making minimum wage is going to have to clean up. Wolfie has also pulled a page out of Daniel Larson's playbook by even going as far as falsely pulling the fire alarm inside of a Wendy's.
There's a fire in your bathroom.
Oh yeah, you can go.
There's a fire in your bathroom.
Wait, there's a fire in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Really epic and hilarious video, Wolfie. Of course, with this kind of content, the creator always has to keep upping the ante in order to grow larger and more infamous. Harassing people in public and making fast food employees' lives a living nightmare was no longer enough for Wolfie. One night, he hatched a genius idea to walk into a Walmart and grab a can of hotshot bedbug and flea killer spray. He then proceeded to spray tons of produce throughout the store and even sprayed a few rotisserie chickens on his way out. In typical Wolfie fashion, after effectively poisoning a bunch of food at the Walmart, he walked out without a care in the world. And it's assumed he received a ton of backlash for this absolutely stupid and reckless prank. Because about 15 minutes later, he posted another video back inside the Walmart claiming to throw out all the food he sprayed. It's likely the only reason Wolfie went back to dispose of the food is because of the immense backlash he faced from posting the original video. He even tried to delete both of the videos and act like it never happened, but it had already been downloaded and reposted by others outraged by his actions. Wolfie claims nobody bought any of the poison products, but I highly doubt that. 15 minutes inside Walmart of all places is plenty of time for someone to walk through the produce section and grab something. Up until this point, Wolfie had gotten away with all of the petty crimes he filmed for his social media platforms. However, this time he commit a pretty serious felony. Thankfully, the police would identify him as Charles White from Arizona and a warrant would be issued for his arrest. After a couple days, Wolfie did the smart thing and turned himself in.
In an MCSO orange jumpsuit, Charles Smith, who goes by Wolfie Kahletti on social media, was in court for the second time in just a few days. Already arrested in Mesa over the weekend, where police say he took this can of bug and flea killer off the shelf at a Walmart and sprayed the pesticide on produce that was on sale for anyone to buy.
He has been charged with a felony for adding poison or other harmful substance to water, food, drink, or medicine. He has also been charged with additional misdemeanors for criminal damage, endangerment, and theft. With all of these charges, Wolfie is currently facing potentially over 30 years in prison for this quote-unquote prank if he's found guilty. What started out as public nuisance content quickly devolved into a pretty egregious crime, and I honestly hope Wolfie gets a guilty verdict when his case inevitably goes to trial. I say this because you absolutely have to make an example out of people doing this kind of stuff so it doesn't happen again. In an interview with police, Wolfie claimed he made between $6,000 and $10,000 a month making these prank videos on social media. That is an insane monthly paycheck for doing the things he was doing. And if you don't charge Wolfie for his crimes, what is going to stop him from just going back to doing this all over again once he's released? Shortly after he turned himself in, courtroom footage would be released showing Wolfie in an orange jumpsuit and trying to persuade the judge to be released early. He would ask the judge to be released because he had a dog at home that hasn't been fed in over 6 days.
Do you have any questions for me?
I do. I have a pet at the house, and we live alone, and she hasn't been able to eat in like 6 days. I was wondering if I have any access of going home and promising to return to court the next court date.
So you already have a bond in the other case, and so I can't control that bond.
I really hope that detail isn't true, but if it is, it just continues to highlight how much of a massive piece of shit this guy is. I really hope he faces some time for his actions. This has been the short story of Wolfie Kahletti, the TikToker committing crimes for views. If you made it to this point in the video, I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to learn about probably one of the worst TikTokers out there. And I'd like to give a massive shout out to all of my channel members and goated members. I appreciate the hell out of your guys' support. With all of that being said, I'm Nick Nobody, and until next time, I'm out.